Alright, let's look at another post in the Korean Eternity section. So, Mabinogi H-line skirt production. In this article, I will introduce the process of making a slim skirt, a type of skirt that is not commonly used in games. In the last post, the fact is that the Popo skirt is, that's covered in one of the other Eternity posts. We covered the process of combining key animation, physics, and retargeting to create a flowing skirt and hair. However, in Mabinogi, there are various costumes that are difficult to solve with this method alone. This time in particular, we'll talk about the process of expressing clothing such as the slim skirt that fits the legs perfectly. A short, slim skirt, usually above the knees, is often worn with skinning on the legs. What is skinning? It is a process of applying weights to the surface mesh of a 3D model so that it can move along with the bone that moves along the character. I think the stewardess costume would be the equivalent of the slim skirt example given above. You can see that there are no major problems even if you walk or sit down. So here you can see the stewardess costume. And there's the character like sitting. And there's the character moving. And you can see how like the skirt is moving with the character. So yeah, that looks really good. Among the slim skirts, the slim skirt that goes down to below the knees is not often used in character settings based on this book. An example would be the Eleanor New Look dress. I think the developers put a lot of thought into presenting as many different chairs as possible. It couldn't be helped. I created a skirt pattern using the method used in the Popo skirt is actually post, and then proceeded with skinning it. The skirt's natural form, which is attractive for its fitted feel on the legs, was not preserved, and instead it ended up looking too eerie, which was not what was intended. So here you can see what it looks like. This time I tried skinning the legs like I did for the stewardess costume. And here you can see what it looks like in this example. It kind of looks like the legs are kind of clipping through in the back maybe, I don't know. And maybe in like in the front, like kind of near the knees. When standing still, the fit is maintained, but when moving, the skin on the knees and thighs is exposed through the clothing. So yeah, I was right. So if you look at it, you can see like the skin coming through on the knees and like the back of their legs. It's like clipping through, that's bad. A sense of form, natural movement, unable to give up either one, I began to wonder if there was a way to express the advantages of both methods. Is there any way to maintain a fitted shape but prevent skin from poking through the knees and thighs? I installed an additional piece to assist with rotation according to the movement of the leg. Yeah, you don't want clipping through the actual skirt or clothing because that just doesn't look good. However, I was not able to get satisfactory results because the texture between the legs was excessively stretched. Splitting the skirt mesh did not stop the map from growing. So you can see how, like, it's too stretched out, like right here. To compensate for the excessive stretching of the texture, I set up an additional bone that only follows 70% of the leg movement when the leg moves along a certain axis. But it's not easy, problems still occur. Like you can see in this, that still looks a little stretched out down here, it doesn't look good. Though it responded to the rotation of the body, it did not respond to the change in length, so the shape of the skirt became even more strange. There were more problems than I can list in the text. We added nodes that respond to changes in the length of the main body and control the length of the auxiliary body, and we did some additional work on some parts and tested them. So you can see like a picture here where like the skin of the knee and part of the leg is like coming through the skirt, and here it's not. In the test environment, it seems to have been somewhat resolved. So this looks a little bit better in this example. It's not perfect, but it's better. How would this be applied in the in-game environment? Here's another example. Yeah, this looks a lot better. Although it's not as perfect as in reality, you can see that the shape of the skirt is maintained and the texture is greatly improved in stretching areas. The part where the skin was poking out also disappeared completely. So yeah, it doesn't look perfect, but it is a massive improvement over the other results. Let's compare the images when skinning was done only on the legs without additional bone settings, and when skinning was done after the additional bone settings. So this is what it looked like before, this is what it looked like after. Before, after. Yeah, you can see that this looks a lot better. Looking at the before and after images, it seems to have improved a lot. Of course, due to the nature of the game, there may still be some imperfect parts. But moving away from expressions like steel hair or steel skirts, we are constantly working to ensure that you, the Militians, can enjoy the show as beautifully as possible. So yeah, I think they're working really hard on this. Alright, let's look at another post in the Korean Eternity section of Mabinogi. So, high heel straps are not even. As you all know, there is a very strange phenomenon in Eren. It is a phenomenon where you are clearly wearing stockings, but when you change your shoes, they change into leggings. So here's the example. However, there are shoes that do not exhibit this strange phenomenon. So it only happens with like certain pairs of shoes, like with the bunny slippers, it's not happening, and then like with these shoes, it is. To explain this, let's take a quick detour and look at body structure of Militians. The body of Militian includes the feet. Because the basic foot shape was made flat, it was impossible to express a pointed toe like when wearing high heels. We have successfully implemented the method of hiding the base foot and attaching the high heels to the body. However, because the basic fleet are artificially hidden, development proceeds with two problems. So 1, due to the absence of a basic foot, the shoe itself had to be designed to have a foot designed so that the instep is not visible. And 2, because the ankle connecting the leg and shoe was not smooth, the design of the ankle strap had to be included. Since the base foot was removed, it was impossible to wear high heels on bare feet. But this was solved by adding instep skin to the shoes. So that's how the strange phenomenon mentioned earlier occurred. What it looks like when you wear high heels that reveal the instep. From the development team's perspective, it was a bit awkward for the stockings to disappear when the instep was exposed. But in order to solve this, depending on the type of item, a new system had to be built to allow for separate shader code to be executed. When rendering the instep skin of the shoe, we also needed the ability to reference the foot texture on the outfit. It was impossible to solve these problems in Leon Engine, which has a lot of legacy code woven into it. However, Eternity's Unreal Engine supports all the features mentioned above. Design constraints 1 and 2 have been removed. The screenshot below is the result of testing the Love Island decoration shoes by making them in the Eternity high heel modeling method. You can see that the stockings and shoes are worn together, but they are still connected at the ankle without any break. So when wearing Love Island decoration shoes with Love Island decoration wear and Street Magician outfit and stockings. So here you can see that the problem isn't happening anymore. The new high heels from Eternity will be more attractive and natural as shown in the example above. So yeah, it's nice they're fixing little outfit glitches like this. Should give a lot more fashion choices when we move to Eternity. Alright, let's look at another post in the Korean Eternity section. So this one's walking into Unreal, Tara's construction. In the early stages of the move, we prioritized concerns like how can we implement the unique sensibility of Mabinogi in Unreal Engine. Just when we thought we could catch our breath after achieving small but meaningful results, we were immediately faced with the mission to rebuild a massive amount of buildings that had been produced over 20 years ago. Really, we got stuck in a swamp of production that seemed to have no end. The workload was overwhelming, but because each building had its own unique theme and identity, we had no choice but to personally create each one with great care. So here we can see some of the buildings in Dumbarton. There were buildings with elaborate patterns all over the city, and the problem was that there was really a lot of them. So modularize it. So that's how the modularization process started. Fortunately, Tara was a city with standardized designs, so it was possible to plan the separation and reorganization of buildings. Thanks to this, we were able to plan an efficient work process, and the background team was able to get one step closer to completing the reconstruction mission. What is modularization? Modularization is a game production method that divides various elements that make up a 3D environment into small reusable units, or modules, and combines these into various configurations to create environments or structures. Each module has a basic structure, and by placing or combining several of them, it is possible to create complex backgrounds. For example, by combining several types of wall sets and columns and stairs to fill in the gaps, you can create several buildings of various sizes. So this shows you like an example of what you can combine and how it can like make a building. So that looks really good. So I tried to generate an example of modularization using AI. It's similar but not exact. So yeah, it looks good, but it's not exactly like it should be for Mabinogi. So first gather buildings with the same theme. Then figure out what can be used repeatedly for each building with that theme, and consider width, height, depth, design, features, etc. to plan how to divide them. Then start with a large classification and narrow it down to details. Then reverse assemble them to check if there are any things you missed during the division. It may look like it will be easy when you see the image, but since Mabinogi was not designed to be modular from the beginning, it is actually much more difficult than you might think. It seems complicated. Is there a reason for modularizing it to this extent? The first is efficiency. Since you can combine multiple modules to create various shapes, you can produce a variety of products while reducing repetitive work. You only need to work on one set of modules, and you can create multiple building combinations with it. The second is flexibility in design changes. Modification of one module automatically reflects everywhere that the module is used, so design changes can be applied in batches. In addition, the modular system is advantageous in applying various concept styles. For example, applying different concepts and colors to the same wall module can produce results with different moods. The third one helps with optimization. Many objects affect performance when rendered. Using modular backgrounds reduces redundant data and allows you to load and render some of them as needed, which helps optimize performance. You can improve performance by loading only modules needed in certain areas to minimize memory usage, and dynamically loading modules according to the camera's view. And the fourth is reusability. Modular parts can be reused in completely different environments, allowing content creation while maintaining a consistent identity. The same modular structure of windows, doors, and building walls used in Tara can be applied to other towns in the future. Even if it cannot be used in the towns currently produced due to the concept implementation issues, it can be used as a foundation for new content that will be updated in the future, allowing for smoother world building. So here you can see what some of the buildings in Tara will look like in Unreal Engine. These are the Tara buildings that have actually been modularized. We are putting a lot of effort into making them efficient while maintaining quality. Can you imagine what the new Tara will look like? We are diligently continuing to accumulate architectural know-how so that we can simultaneously take advantage of the original identity of Mabinogi's background and the new environment called Unreal. In this way, Mabinogi's background is continuously being built and expanded with various attempts and considerations, so we ask for your interest and support. So yeah, this was a really good post. It's nice to see what some of these buildings will look like in Unreal Engine. So today we'll be looking at a part that was shown in the Korean Fantasy Party for Mabinogi. We'll be looking at character creation in Unreal Engine 5. And we have English closed captioning. There's the login. So they played this live on stream. Here's the new character select screen. This looks pretty cool.
안녕하세요, 밀레시안 여러분. 마비노기 총괄 디렉터 민경훈입니다. 이번 이터니티의 소식의 시작을 제가 직접 보여드리고 싶었습니다. 그래서 캐릭터 생성 과정을 제가 직접 좀 보여드리려고.
So the director is going to show us the character creation process for Unreal.
업데이트 후에 실제로 만나보실 모습은 지금과는 조금 다를 수 있는데 지금 현재 저희가 구현해 놓은 모습을 천천히 보여드리도록 하겠습니다. 이렇게 하나씩 선택할 수 있고요. 세 캐릭터를 선택해 보겠습니다. 이 의상은 처음 보시는 의상이죠. 이터니티 버전으로.
This is the first time you've seen this costume, newly created in Eternity version. This is the newbie wear, okay.
전에 잠깐 소개해드린 것처럼 이런 형태.
A while ago, yes, as I briefly introduced, this is now.
신발도 이제 구현해 볼 수 있고요.
Now let's implement pretty shoes in the shape of.
일단은 남캐를 한번 잠깐 보여드릴게요.
Okay, first the male character. So yeah, you can pick the male character's age. And this shows you like the stats. Because the stats are like slightly different.
이렇게 당연히 나이도 이렇게 고를 수 있고요. 능력치는 신경 쓰지 않으셔도 됩니다. 임시 수치로 넣어둔 거예요.
So it looks like over here we have like a couple of different like starting outfit options. So like this is the newbie wear over here, and it looks like you can pick like one of these other 3 outfits to start with. So far this looks really good.
얼굴도 이렇게 이거 조금 이따가 자세히 보여드릴 텐데 이제 남캐 헤어들은 지금 일단 반영해 놓은 건 이 정도고요. 여러 가지 익숙하신 헤어들이
Couple of the different male hairstyles.
이런 헤어도 있고. 그리고 당연히 이렇게 색상도 선택할 수 있습니다.
And the different colors.
일단 다시 돌아가서 네, 여성캐로 선택을 해보겠습니다.
And you can notice, like here, you can see some of the hair clipping through her outfit. So it's a lot easier to notice, like, the hair clipping through the outfits on the female character, because she has, like, longer hair. And the longer hair options typically, like, clip through the outfits more.
네, 예쁘죠? 예쁜 건
Yeah, you can see it, like, better up close. You can see how it's, like, cutting into the shirt and stuff. But it looked a lot better in game. That might just be, like, a character creation thing. Like, when I saw, like, the in-game footage that's later, it looked a lot better and a lot less noticeable.
가까이서 봐야 됩니다. 이렇게 가까이서 보시면 이 디테일이 좀 보이실 것 같아요. 이렇게 의상도 이런 식으로 디테일하게 표현해서 구현을 해볼 수가 있고요. 피부 색상도 이렇게 선택한 대로 바로 잘
And different skin tones. That's cool.
네.
That one's cool too.
이런 모습도 그렇고 다양한 모습을 볼 수 있고, 네, 저는 개인적으로 좋아하는 연한 복숭아 빛을 선택하겠습니다. 이 헤어도 이렇게 반영이 되는데 아마 지금 잘 아시는 헤어들이 있을 거예요. 아시는 헤어들이 있고, 그렇죠. 이 헤어는 좀 이따가 다시 보실 수 있을 것 같은데 저는
Okay, this hairstyle doesn't clip through the outfit at all. So that's good. Because, like, the hair that hangs off to the sides here in the front, like, that's far enough away from the outfit that doesn't clip into it. And, like, the ponytail in the back goes out far enough to the point where it doesn't, like, clip into the back of the character at all.
죄송합니다. 제 취향대로 일단 선택을 해보겠습니다. 그리고 눈도 지금은 이 정도로 반영이 돼 있고요. 눈도 아마
A couple of different options for eyes.
네, 이 눈으로 선택을 하겠습니다. 아, 제가 헤어 색상을 안 정했네요. 제가 그 블루 계열을 좋아해서 여기 제
Changing the hair color?
명확하게 있지는 않은데 네, 다른 의도는 없습니다. 이 블루를 선택을 하겠습니다. 그리고 눈도 맞춰야죠. 네, 이렇게 맞추겠습니다. 그리고 입은
Yeah, changing the hair and eye color.
있고요. 그리고 장식이랑 화장도 있는데 네, 이 부분은 네, 나중에 또 보여드릴 기회가 있을 것 같습니다.
There are decorations and makeup too, so you can use that.
네, 이런 프리셋들을 확인을.
Yeah, and here's some of the different, like, starting outfits. Now he's going through, like, those options. This one goes really well with the blue hair.
하실 수가 있습니다. 네, 이렇게 있고요. 그리고 이렇게 가까이서 보시면 좀 재질감이 좀 다르죠? 네, 이런 의상도 있고, 그리고 왠지 궁수한테 어울릴 것 같은 네, 이런 의상도 있고요. 네, 이런 의상도 있습니다. 네,
Yeah, this one looks pretty cool. Looks like an outfit that maybe, like, a priest or a healer would wear, like a priestess or a healer. Or a mage.
이제 본격적으로 한번 떠나보겠습니다.
They're laughing because the name was taken when he tried to name the character.
네. 서버는 지금 유튜브 하나만 반영을 해둔 거니까 혹시나
The server currently only reflects one loot. They might be talking about, like, loot server. Since I've already done it, maybe other than loot, I hope the servers aren't upset. Okay, so he's gonna create the character. The owl looks pretty cool too.
어떠세요? 밀레시안과 에린을 연결해줄 조금 새로운 모습의 소울 스트림입니다.
The soul stream looks pretty good. I like how they added some color to like this part where you walk around. Like there's some blue, some gold, and maybe some like blue and purple more in the center where now is.
네, 여기 계신 분들은 너무 잘 아시다시피 마비노기에서 의미 깊은 장소잖아요. 네, 그래서 좀 더 가슴에 남을 만한 모습으로 변화를 시도해보고 있습니다. 우리 나우가 쳐다보네요. 네, 아이고 죄송합니다. 제가 지금 손이 떨리고 있어요.
These dialogue options on the side are pretty cool. Like, I like the way the boxes look for text and everything. So far, this looks pretty good as far as the interface goes for like chatting with an NPC.
네, 하나하나 말을 걸어보고 싶지만 지금 이제 보여드릴 게 좀 더 있기 때문에 에린으로 바로 가겠습니다. 네. 다음에 또 만나요.
And now she's gonna send us to Aaron. Wait, let's go back just a little bit. This was just a brief moment, but it looks like this would be like the loading screen. That might change, like before it comes out. This is just a test play that they're going through. But this is simple, it looks nice. Alright, let's jump into Mabinogi today. So today is the last day of the Master Plan event and the Flying High event. Gonna miss the Flying High event, it's been really helpful for leveling up my spirit weapons. Oh, and I should switch back to Explosive Vanguard for my Arcana. We'll do that in a minute. Let's go and use this. Need one more point to take this to level 4. So what kind of spirit weapon quests do we have for you? Oh right, the shiprat thing. So I could do that by doing like a version of Rundle Dungeon. Okay, let's go find out what the daily veteran dungeon is and the daily dungeon first. And then we'll switch to Explosive Vanguard and then decide where to go. Probably gonna do that spirit weapon quest though at some point. Okay, what do we have today? Albi Dungeon.
좀 쉬었으면 좋겠어.
And we have CR dungeon for the normal one.
아고, 한숨 돌리고 이랬으면.
Okay, let's try and get some dungeon passes. Oops.
뭐야 이
I want
편지는?
this. Get random items today. If I'm lucky, I'll pull a pass.
다음 분. 모험가 조합은 이쪽이에요. 좀 쉬었으면 좋겠어.
Okay, we'll trash all that. Stack these up.
이래야지.
And tons of passes, that's good.
다음 분 접수하세요.
Should get rid of these checks too. Alright, let's go ahead and do Rundle first.
다음 분.
I'm gonna have to do that to get the ship rats. But luckily Rundle Dungeon is one of my favorites. So we just have to defeat 50 shipwrats with my scythe. And the back room of Rundle, hard mode and Siren is a pretty good place to do that. Oh wait, did we go this way first? Yeah, okay, because this way, these two rooms don't go anywhere. We do need the keys from them. Oh, and I need to switch to Explosive Blast Lancer. That's alright, we can do it after this. It's not like this is a place for leveling up. This is more just my spirit weapon thing. There are probably a few... well, I'll worry about that later. Move the keys down here a little bit. That should be good. Let's hit all the wrong orbs on purpose, so this support puppet will tell me which orbs are the right ones and which ones are the wrong ones. And if I hit the ones that summon monsters instead, that means more monsters, which could hypothetically mean a higher chance of shipwrats. Hey, there's two of them. 48 to go. Hey, two more. Saint Rats, welcome in. Yeah, I'm looking for shipwrats. Gotta do it for my spirit weapon quest. But yeah, I think we worked on that for one of your spirit weapons like last week. Rotisserie chicken. I don't know. I'd have to maybe like revisit that and try it. Like, I mean, aside from chicken burgers and like maybe one or two other kinds of chicken, I don't really eat like a huge amount of it. So that would be like a maybe for me. Down. Oh wait, there's one more over there. 13. If I had to guess, though, I'd probably say that I'm probably more of a fan of, like, chicken that's more fried rather than just, like, anything else. I don't know. Should actually make an effort to try more new foods. And one more Xana fun fact is, I'm not a huge turkey fan. Like, if it comes to, like, Thanksgiving or, like, a Christmas dinner or anything, like, I much prefer, like, ham over, like, turkey. I'll probably actually have to run this twice, I think. Like, I'll probably get like 30 or 40 of those shipwrecks in this run. I'll probably have to do like part of a second one. Okay, I think this place is only 3 floors. Be surprised if I got all the rats in this run. So yeah, we got 33 rats. Need to get like 17 more. Alright, we're done with that spirit weapon quest. We can get out of here. Let's level that up. And then we can take this skill up to level 4, apply. And we need 9 points to get to level 5. Gotta do a little build up on my spirit weapon bond. Okay, so what kind of quests do we have next for you? Okay, the Echo Stone Dungeon. Could do that. Okay, let's switch back to Explosive Vanguard. Okay, Scythe and Staff. So we're gonna do Albion Veteran next. And before we go in there, we're also gonna do a rebirth. Let's take a few of these up too before we go in. Okay, veteran run 10. See how fast I can clear this. Okay, it took about 30 minutes to get to the boss room. See how fast the boss itself goes. Gotta take out some of these spiders first. Okay, now that we have a little bit of space here, let's use some meteors. We have 3 of them. We almost have a 4th one ready too. So I'm gonna get the big spider and as many of the little guys as I can. These guys are kind of moving close, I'll take care of them real fast. Didn't mean to attract the big spider's attention. Okay, so now that they're all kind of in the same area, let's go back to doing meteor. And one more. Okay, since I'm probably not going to use another meteor against this boss, maybe I should see if Final Strike will do anything. Final Strike has surprised me before with its uses, so... Let's see what we can do with it here. Yeah, overall, this is still pretty effective. It'd be a little bit more effective to use Dark Diviner against the spider, but unfortunately I really want to train up my Blast Lancer stuff right now before I start doing veteran runs with Dark Diviner. Let's actually give it a shot though. Let's see, since I do have Explosive Vanguard on me, let's see how it's doing in terms of like damage and stuff. Why not have a little fun with it? Oh wait, that's Elemental Knight. Last zone, recharge shells, here we go. It's been a while since I've used these, so this will be interesting. That was a nice chunk of damage right there. Wait, didn't we just recharge? Come on. I guess I used all my mana shells. There we go. Blessed Lancer has some good damage at least. And finally we can get some stats from this, so 1 strength for this one, 1 strength for this one. Okay, Veteran Dungeon is done. If I'm gonna clear the Echo Stone dungeon for my Scythe Spirit Weapon quest, then I don't need to clear it with the Scythe, just clear it in general. Okay, so we're gonna equip Chainblade and Staff. And then really quick, we're going to switch to Dark Diviner. So we'll go on advanced difficulty, that should be fine. Don't need to see cutscene. Overall, this will be pretty easy. Okay, so the trick is we need to take out both these dragons around the same time. Like if I defeat one of them, then the other one will start regenerating the other one. So... this one a little bit first. Perfect. And now for the boss itself. Surprised that pet buff is still working. Can't fade pretty quick. I'll boost their movement speed a little bit. That meteor came with a price. I got hit by that. One attack on the ground there. There we go. All done. Let's do some upgrades. $24, $25, $23. Let's try taking up this one. This one gives the HP, mana, stamina buffs. Also been getting a lot of lag, like, wonder how busy the channels are. Huh. one full one and all the other ones are busy. I'm glad to see the game so active again, though. Even if that does come with a little bit of lag. Three of its preferred gems larger than 6 centimeters. Okay. See if we can find any of that. That's 8, so that'll do. This one's 6 centimeters, so I wonder if it'll count. And let's get this one too. Okay, that one's done. Cobweb mummies. Let's see where we're at here. You have 6. I don't know if I want to hunt down cobweb mummies today. I don't think I do. We'll worry about that like later this week or next week or something. I'm okay with that for now. Okay, let's go ahead and switch back to Explosive Vanguard, and then we're going to do a rebirth. And the average daily dungeon was CR dungeon. So we'll go ahead and clear that next. How much longer is that buff thing gonna last? 7 minutes. Let's keep an eye on that until it expires. We'll enter hard mode advanced for CR, might as well do the most difficult one. Yeah, surprisingly, CR on hard mode is giving me more levels than I thought, so that's kind of a bonus. Wasn't really expecting to get nearly to level 200 here. Yeah, there's something very satisfying about using thunder to me. Like, it's... something about the skill feels very, like, godlike. Or at the very least, like, evil and powerful. Like, a lot of times when I use thunder, I kind of think of, like, Palpatine, like, zapping Luke Skywalker to death in Return of the Jedi. And I'm like, wow, that's so much fun. And, like, I use Thunder Mabi, like, yeah, I'm zapping the enemy to death. Well, we have the boss key now, so we should be pretty close to the end here. Might even hit 200. Oh wow, survived 2 meteors, not bad. Oh, we have one of these leprechauns. So what are the shadow missions then? Sniper War, that's not too bad. Some people don't like Sniper War, I personally don't mind it. Yeah, alright, let's rebirth and do Sniper War. One strength for leveling that one. One strength for that one. One strength for that one. And one strength for that one, so that's like what, 4? Okay, we've gotten like 5 strength in total. 6 strength. Nice. So all these skills, strength went up by about +6. Mostly just gonna spam Thunder for this too. Okay, that shadow mission's done. And I think we'll focus the rest of the stream on Dan tests for like the next 20-30 minutes. Okay, I think that'll do for now. Hear that too. Let's do rebirth real quick, and then Dan tests. So off to main next. They're going to be making the Dan test for Dan 3 Astral Reeve easier, like with Thursday's update. Because, like, now I think in the Dan 3 test for Astral Reeve, you get, like, 30 points every time it hits, like, an enemy, and they're going to be increasing that to 35 points per hit, making it a little bit easier to pass. I'll probably make a video on that and, like, post it on YouTube or whatever tomorrow. So I'll probably focus on the Astral Reeve Dan 3 tomorrow and see if it's any easier. Because Xanafiedlion, like, took the test the hard way and passed it, so might be good to have a little comparison thing. Today I feel like Dan ranking magic skills. So I think I'm gonna try and take Ice Bolt up today. Like, maybe we'll get Ice Bolt up to, like, Dan 2. That would take like 3 tests in total. And then we could take up Firebolt to Dan 1. I think that's what I'm gonna aim for. Okay, let's put this here. Get all this crap off. I don't think I'm gonna need inspiration for this. Because, like, Ice Bolt doesn't take that much MP. So I'm not really that concerned about it. Alright, we need 8k points to pass. Actually, probably not the best idea to take on ice sprites. That's okay. It's just a damn one test, so should be fine. 1 minute and 53 seconds left. And 1. And then we're going to need an S rank to take it to Dan 2, so this time we're going to need 9k points. Oh yeah, and I have to get 100 XP on it. I always forget about the 100 XP thing after you Dan rank it the first time. So let's take a minute, let's go to Tur. See if the foxes here are free. Yeah, looks like no one's training here, so that's nice. Yeah, but how much XP does it have? Okay, we have all the XP on it, good. Let's get back then. Okay, 1 minute and 48 seconds. So we finished this one 5 seconds later than the other one. Which isn't too bad since we had to get 1,000 more points than last time. Then we use these coupons. So we can take the test a second time and pass it. Rearrange all this real fast. Easy. Alright. Band 2, Ice Bolt. Let's go to Tur and get the XP it needs for tomorrow's training. Okay, as the XP it needs.
아이, 자꾸 머리에 땀이 차네.
And let's go get Firebolt to Dan 1, and then tomorrow we'll get Ice Bolt to Dan 3, and then Friday we can get Firebolt to Dan 2. Well, actually, I might be doing the Astral Reeve thing, Dan 3 thing tomorrow instead. Because I do want to actually compare how much easier it is, or how much easier it's going to become compared to how difficult it is now. Okay, Firebolt, Dan 1. Oh, and I need to use my other coupon. I guess for this one I'll put it on 6, that's fine. And that there, and then this up here. Okay, we need 8k points. Oh, there it is. Hard to see in that light there. And done. And one firebolt. And instead of quitting near the Flying High NPC, since that event is ending, we're not going to be near Fergus's shop. We're going to go a little bit further to where the campfire event thing is going to be. What's it called again? the a campfire for all. That's gonna be right up here when it starts up tomorrow. So we'll just go ahead and put it right here. But yeah, that's it for today's Mabinogi live stream. We will be doing another Mabinogi live stream tomorrow at 4 p.m. And we'll also be doing Contraband Police from noon to 3.